All right. This is the Comics Launch Mastermind July 2022 live information session. We are just streaming live now across a couple of platforms, YouTube and Facebook. And so, for those of you that are tuning in live, or anyone that is going to catch the replay, which will probably be even more, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming and tuning in with me live here or on the replay to learn a little bit more about the mastermind concept and what I have available in terms of the Comics Launch Mastermind. And so, again, I want to thank you for taking some time to spend a little time on this concept with me and consider it for yourself in July of 2022. You are in the right place here if you are a comic book creator, a writer, an artist, a publisher, and you're interested in growing your audience, your network, and or your creative business this year. A quick check-in, you can let me know in the comments if you've been in a mastermind before, or if you are currently in a mastermind. You can just say, one, yes, I'm in one right now. Two, yes, I've been in a mastermind before, or but not in one now. Or no, I've never been in a mastermind before, and just love to hear your experience with it. Or if you're not sure if you've been in a mastermind, by the end of this presentation, you're going to know what a mastermind is and whether or not you've been in one, and if not, if you want to be one in the future. Hi, I am Tyler James. I'm the publisher of Comics Tribe. I'm the co-founder of Comics Launch Pro. A lot of what I get up to is in the comics and children's book publishing space. And so over the past decade, I've launched a whole bunch of comic book projects with my comic creator collaborators under the Comics Tribe imprint. And I've also distributed most of these books also through Diamond for worldwide distribution. So I have a lot of experience as a comic book publisher. And I've also have a lot of experience in the children's book space. The C is for Cthulhu brand is a brand that I manage and have built with Kickstarter playing a big role in that, and we've racked up 10 launches over the past 8 years for that, and it's been a very successful brand as well. In addition to that, I podcast on a weekly basis with the Comics Launch podcast, where we talk about crowdfunding and Kickstarter, mindset strategies, tactics that comic book creators use. And I also run a program in a community called Comics Launch Pro, which is for creators that are really interested in the kinds of things we talk about in the podcast and are looking for more coaching support, step-by-step blueprints, etc., to implement a lot of the stuff that we talk about in terms of crowdfunding, building audiences, and growing your creative careers. The comics, just to crow a little bit about the Comics Launch Pro community, we now have over 500 successful launches from the members that have gone through that program. We are still operating at about a 95% success rate for projects that launch in our community. And we are just shy of $4 million in funding, going to hopefully cross that mark next month or within the next month or so. So a lot of good stuff that has come from the Comics Launch Pros. And one of the big principles that I've operated since I really started putting myself out there into the world and creating stuff has been this principle by Zig Ziglar. Zig said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And so if you're wondering about why I've been able to podcast on a weekly basis for over 6 years now, and everything that I've done, a lot of it is operating on this principle. I've found that the more I am able to help others on their journey, the better my journey gets as well. And so I've really operated under that principle. And so I'd just love to hear from anyone tuning in live, or if you can let me know on the replay, like, how has your year been so far on a scale of 1 to 10? Where would you rate your year? You can put that in the chat if you're watching us on a streamer that allows commenting. But, I know a lot of us, usually around this time of the year, had sort of big expectations for the new year, for 2022. The past couple of years have been pretty rough and unconventional in so many ways. And so I think a lot of folks were expecting 2022 to be a getting back to normal year, and maybe it hasn't quite lived up to that. And so, regardless of where you're at, I want to encourage you to say, hey, now is a great time at the midpoint of the year to recalibrate, refocus, and recommit to achieving some goals. For me, I've recognized that the world has been, a hot mess again in 2022 in so many ways. But if I choose to look at it from a certain perspective, especially around the publishing perspective, for myself and many of the creators I work with, it's actually been a really good year so far. Over the past 6 months, we've done for Comics Tribe, we've done over $125,000 in Kickstarter, which has been great. And there have been many members inside of my community, the Comics Launch Pro community, that have had a lot of great wins and record size launches, most back launches. And so there's been a lot of examples of creators that are, despite everything going on in the world, that are really doing great things and having a achievement. And inside our community, I think we're on pace for another record-setting year in terms of funding that creators are going to be able to achieve inside our program. And so I'm excited about that. This is also a year where I'm celebrating the 6th anniversary of leaving the day job to do what I do full time. And so I'm really grateful to be able to do what I do for a living. It's allowed me to work with so many creators, help so many creators on their journey, bring so many projects that I'm passionate about to life on Kickstarter and beyond. And it's also allowed me to have a lot of time spending watching this guy growing up. That's my son Cullen, and I made the leap before he was even born, shortly before he was born, to full-time creator, and it's been a blessing to have so much time to spend with him. Sometimes it doesn't work out so quite as well for me, like yesterday when I took a spill playing tag with him on the playground and scraped up my elbow pretty good. But for the most part, I am extremely grateful to be able to watch this guy grow up and also work do so much with creators and bring so much to life through that. So I'm grateful for that. And another thing that I'm grateful for is that over the past 4.5 years or so, I've created and run a group called the ComixLaunch MasterMind, and I've introduced dozens of creators to the power of mastermind groups. I'm a huge advocate for those. And so, some of the achievements that creators that have been in the mastermind have achieved are things like this. The creator creators get their first 5-figure Kickstarter launch, or get five-figure Kickstarter launches in a row. They've secured reviews for their new comic series, invested in art courses and training, recruited an artist partner for a new series, hit writing goal for the quarter, had a project covered by the New York Times, registered a trademark for the new property, launched a $30,000 plus Kickstarter project, collaborated with fellow mastermind members on an anthology project, got a new webcomic up and running, negotiated a partnership with a game company, got a Kickstarter funded series picked up by a publisher for direct market distribution, got multiple pitches accepted for an exciting anthology project, set up an LLC for his business, hired an accountant to get his creative books in order, interviewed and then hired an editor for her comic book projects, had their best Kickstarter launch ever, then topped it again, and then again with the next launch, wrote 3 scripts in 3 months, navigated a tricky breakup with a creative partnership that was no longer working, found a brand new creative team, and then started publishing other creators' work and had success with that on Kickstarter, shifting from solo creator to publisher. And so, these are just examples of the kinds of things that the creators in the Comics Launch Mastermind have been up to. This is a group of creators. The one thing that really does unite them all is that this is a group of creators who are all committed to leveling up. All right, whatever that means for them. Okay. And so a key practice for myself and for the creators that I've worked with is that in order to grow, you need to be regularly investing back into yourself and your business. And so I've always found that I see the biggest return when I invest in two things: when I invest in my skills and when I invest in my network. And so I'm just going to offer that when you are looking for investments where you get to improve your skills and improve your network, you're going to see a big return from those things. And so for today's presentation here, I want to just briefly cover what is a mastermind, what can a mastermind do for your creative business, why did I first start the Comics Launch Mastermind, and why have I continued to do it every year, and why creators really do keep coming back to it. I'll cover what's included in the Comics Launch Mastermind that I run, how the mastermind itself works, what the commitment and investment is to be a part of the Comics Launch Mastermind, how to apply, and we'll also leave some time for some Q&A if there are any questions. All right, so let's begin with what is a mastermind really? Well, the way I like to answer this question is with another question. And this is a question is like, honestly answer this question. Right now, besides yourself, how many people are there on this planet who know exactly what it is that you're trying to create this week, this month, this year, in the next 5 years, and in your lifetime, want you to succeed and are regularly thinking about what they can do to help you on your mission? You can trust that they offer good, knowledgeable advice and will always tell it to you straight, even if that's not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And you are meeting with these people regularly, consistently, to talk about these things, because that relationship and this stuff is a priority in your life. Now, the truth is, if you can answer more than, I mean, if you have one person that fits this bill in your life, you are doing actually great. But for many of the creators that I work with and talk to, they're kind of, they've been doing this on their own, and they're kind of on their own when it comes to all of this stuff, making the key decisions in their creative business, or even just finding out what's going on in others. And so I would say if you don't have people in this life, in your life that fit this description, then consider what it might look like if there was a group of high performing creators and achievers who you really respected and saw were doing really cool things out into the world, on Kickstarter and beyond. And they constantly had you on their minds because you're meeting with them on a regular basis. Imagine this group was regularly thinking about how they could support you and include you and collaborate with you and connect with you as you and create with you. Would that make a difference in your creative business, and would that make a difference in your life? It always has for me. And so some of the things that a mastermind group can provide for you is accountability. So some of our groups, they do writing check-ins with the writers in the group, and just ask each other to keep them accountable for their word counts, or just getting that script in on time. Support and feedback to help enable creators to level up, or even when things get tough during the difficult part of a launch. Mastermind really can become your own personal brain trust of creators that you're going for, to get the key feedback and such that you're not putting stuff just out randomly into the internet where anyone can reply to it, but that everyone that you're asking about for feedback on this stuff are people that are actually in the trenches working, and also have your best interest in mind. And so a mastermind is really this. It's a group that is small and focused, and includes like-minded creators who are there to meet regularly, to share resources and connections, to sharpen and strengthen their creative business strategies, and to support each other in mutually beneficial ways. And so a mastermind can be a safe space for big, scary ideas, for instant feedback, a pool of resources, collaborations and joint ventures, info and network sharing, shining light on new possibilities, and pushing others, and also being pushed yourself to achieve the greatness that you're going after. So a testimonial from Albert Lim, who's one of our founding members of the Comics Launch Mastermind. He said, if I ask a question, I know I'm going to get a quality answer that's going to improve me. And that's because of the quality of the people in the group. The monthly mastermind meetings help keep me on track, and the check-ins help keep me focused on doing the things I said I was going to do. Okay. Now, here's what a mastermind is not. A mastermind is not a how-to course, although if you are a member of the Comics Launch Mastermind, you will have access to all of my programs during the time that you're a member. More on that later. But a mastermind specifically is not just a how-to course where you're sitting back or you're consuming the training. No, you actually have to be a participant in a mastermind to get the most out of it. It's also not a sage on the stage seminar. Here, I'm talking directly to you. I've already talked more than I talk during the entire mastermind experience in most cases, because my job is not to be the one expert in here. My job is to help draw out the collective genius of the group. When I run these masterminds, it's not a done for you service or a one-on-one coach either. There's power that comes from the group itself. It's also not an overcrowded, nameless group where you can just sort of anonymously hide in the back of the crowd, like those big survey classes in college, where you can, just sit and you'll never learn the teacher's names. No, everyone in the mastermind really gets to know each other, and you're expected to speak up and you're expected to, in some cases, bring topics and issues to the table. It's also not a group where just anyone and everyone can get in. In most quality masterminds, there is a criteria, and a lot of effort is put into making sure that it's the right creators in the room. If we had a mastermind and we had some creators that had were into something completely different than other creators, or did not have any shared experience, it's not going to be as effective as a mastermind where there is some overlap, and in terms of where they are in their career, goals, etc. And so masterminds can help you achieve your business goals faster. They can help you provide structure and accountability. They can help you troubleshoot issues and find solutions to them. They can provide you access to new resources, contexts, and networks. They can help you uncover blind spots, tap into new ideas, and hear fresh perspectives. And they can provide you community and connection. And they're also a lot of fun. I know it's not usually the thing that gets prioritized, but having a opportunity to once a month get together with a group of creators where you're going to be talking business, about your business and about their business, and this world that we're all in, that most of the people out there in the world have no idea about what we're up to or what makes us tick. It can actually be a lot of fun to make sure that you're doing this on a regular basis. Another testimonial from another founding member, Clay Adams, says, "The mastermind hot seats are incredibly valuable. I walk away from the sessions on a high from connecting with all these great people and with stuff I can walk away and do." And that really is what it's about. It's about making things really actionable for you. And so, again, I'd love you to be thinking about, like, what are you really trying to achieve this year? Which best describes the most important thing that you're trying to accomplish with the rest of 2022? Is it you're maybe searching for a personal best crowdfunding launch, or maybe your goal is to seriously increase the size of your fan base, or maybe you're trying to break into some new sales channels, or maybe it's finally completing a big creative passion project. Which best defines your goals for the rest of the year? The truth is, members in our mastermind over the years have checked all of these boxes. Rob Moltari, who's been a member for a while now. Over the past couple sessions, he's achieved a new high backer total on Kickstarter, and his most recent launch was his new high funding total. So that's definitely was something for him. For Melody Pena, when she was a member, she was shooting to get a passion project that she'd been working on for 4 years finally complete. And if you're curious what a $100,000 Kickstarter launch looks like after it's all said and done, that's Melody's husband, who had to get a forklift to move all the books that she was able to print after that big launch. And so a lot of opportunities for creators to achieve their goals and have a mastermind to support them. I started the Comics Launch Mastermind because I realized there were creators in my extended network of thousands who are on the cusp of a breakthrough year, but they didn't necessarily need from me another course. Or what they needed was some connection. They needed community. They needed contacts. They needed some accountability. And that's really what a mastermind can provide. And so I looked at myself a little bit in the Nick Fury role, where maybe my best ability would be to connect and assemble the right group of creators, knowing that it's not just about what I know or what I can do or what I've learned over the years. I know that I don't have a monopoly on all the good ideas out there. I also know that magic happens when you get the right people in the room and they're there for the right reasons, and you just get them talking and supporting one another. And so I've continued to do that. This is coming up on my, I'm about to complete the 5th year of running these mastermind groups, because it works and creators just get a ton of value from it, and they continue to grow and learn and share what they've learned and give back to the group. And it's really been a special thing. George O'Connor said, I've found the ComixLaunch Mastermind absolutely irreplaceable over these past 2 years. From a mentality and support system perspective, I'm here because I want to get better by learning from other creators. And that's one of the things that I really have enjoyed doing, is just finding the right creators and getting them in this group, especially creators that are there, yes, to level themselves up and to improve and to grow their own businesses, but also creators that do have this desire to give back and to share what they've learned with others. It creates a really great environment for that. Another comment from Moana McAdams, who's been a member since the beginning. She said, I've been with the ComixLaunch Mastermind since its inception. It's just a ton of value. I wouldn't be where I am as a creator without it. All right. And so my number one job as a mastermind facilitator is really to assemble the right group of high caliber, serious creators, and to facilitate an environment where they can all have a breakthrough year through mutual support and accountability. That's my job. And so that's the ComixLaunch Mastermind. What it is it's an exclusive mastermind for serious creators that is run and led each month by myself. And the ComixLaunch Mastermind is for comic creators, writers, and publishers who are already on their creative journey and they're looking to level up their creative business to the high 5 or 6-figure mark and beyond. It usually is split about 50-50 between creators that are trying to that see their comics and their creative and publishing endeavors as a side hustle, something that they want to definitely build and grow, but aren't necessarily concerned about, leaving their day job because they, in many cases, have a fulfilling career that they do in addition to their creative career. That's about half. And then the other half are creators that are full-time creators and are trying to maximize that as well. So it runs the mix between both. But everyone is in the group because they desire to grow. And so what is included in the ComixLaunch Mastermind, it's a 6-month immersive mastermind experience. It includes monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls. There is a private Facebook group for the mastermind members. We have monthly themes and high performance exercises available to the group. There's accountability check-ins, connection to a small group of performers and achievers who will constantly have you on their minds for mutual support and benefit. You'll also get access to the entire ComixLaunch Pro library of courses and training materials while you are a member of the ComixLaunch Mastermind. And this is because a lot of times when we're in these doing the hot seats or sharing ideas or sharing strategies, people in the group will be referring back to, a training that I created or a checklist that I have. And it just made more sense to make sure that everyone that is in this group is working from the same playbook. And so I do make that available, and that is a really high valuable piece to it. And you'll also have access to 20 plus ComixLaunch Mastermind masterclasses from industry pros. And I'll share a little bit more about what those masterclasses are like, which are, again, extremely valuable. And you'll also get access to 3 new ComixLaunch Mastermind masterclasses that will be scheduled over the next 6 months, where I will bring in accomplished guest lecturers who will be speaking on an area of expertise that's relevant to the group, to the creators in the group. And you can attend those live. You can ask questions live, and there will be more details on those to come as well. So again, another testimonial from Christopher Michael. He said, hello all, my name is Chris. I'm a member of the inaugural ComixLaunch Mastermind. If you're thinking about joining the next session, I can promise you this, it will be well worth your time and money. In the last 6 months, I've not only learned more than my brain can currently handle, but I've also taken action towards my goals in a way that I simply wouldn't have if I wouldn't have plunged myself into this immersive experience. Do it. All right. So again, this is an experience that is application only. I'm only accepting applications from creators who can commit to making a mastermind group a priority in their lives for at least the next 6 months, are already on their journey and have a vision for where they want to go. They are looking to level up their creative business and their peer network, and get genuinely excited about the prospect of contributing to the growth of other creators' businesses along with their own. The commitment for the Comics Launch Mastermind is to commit at least 6 months to participate in it. We have this will run from July through December 2022. You're going to be committing to making the group and the people in it a priority in your life so that you can receive the benefits of the mastermind. And that includes getting together once a month live for roughly 2 hours for a mastermind live session where we support each other in hot seats. We do resource shares, we share wins, we share recent takeaways and ahas, and it's a well-structured, facilitated meeting by myself. All right. So let's just talk about the investment now. I know some folks, whenever there's an investment involved, like that's always tends to be the make or break decision. When I want to encourage you to just say, this is the kind of thing where what you get out of it is what you put into it. And so this sounds good. What's the investment? What does it cost? And inevitably, I get a question like, "Why charge anything at all for this? This sounds really good. Why don't you just set up these groups and you don't need to charge for this, right?" Um, and I also have heard, like, if you really want to help the most creators, why not make these groups free to join? And so, good questions. And honestly, I've put out resources and things and advice if you want to go out and start your own mastermind group. I am a big time proponent of creators that do that as well. But what I have found is a few things. First, I've found that things that are easy to get into are easy to get out to. And from my experience, free masterminds always fizzle out. All right. I've not really heard too many examples of mastermind groups that had no investment that have sustained over the long haul or the long term. And I've also heard from many creators that, have had lots of initial interest, and then over time it just wanes pretty quickly. I've also found that with, in the past, I've participated in masterminds and they always tend to fizzle out. And I mean, the reason for that is we tend to, as human beings, we value what we pay for, we pay attention to what we pay for, and we commit to what we've paid for. And so the investment does help ensure that the people in the groups are serious about building their creative businesses versus are just there to hang out. And the transformation really does happen in the transaction. When you invest into a group like this, you all of a sudden are taking yourself more seriously as a creator, and then show up on a weekly basis and a monthly basis for our live meetings. And so while most free masterminds that I've seen have fizzled out, this is a mastermind that has been running strong now in our 5th year. So pretty cool. So what is the investment? The good news is, and so, and the other thing that I will say about this is, every time I put the word out about this, I do my best on the podcast and through my email list and social media and stuff to make people aware that, hey, this mastermind exists. I always get a ton of interest, and then when it comes time to actually get people to show up for like a live session like this to learn just a little bit more about it, like a free live session, well, that interest goes way down. And so, if again, it's very free to just say, yeah, I'm interested. But then until there's actually a commitment on the line, some skin in the game, people don't tend to show up in the same way. So the good news is that you actually don't need that many creators to participate to have a mastermind be super successful. Really, a small group of 5 to 7 serious committed creators is all that's really needed for a mastermind to thrive. Now, the Comics Launch Mastermind is a little bit bigger than that. But in order to thrive, you really don't need that many creators. You just need the right creators. All right. And so the investment for the July 2022 season is $197 per month or $997 paid in full. Works out to be a little bit under $5.50 a day. And if you are already a member of the Comics Launch Pro, if you're a member of Comics Launch Pro, you have access to the Comics Launch Pro training materials already. We do have a good discount. It's a $200 discount, $797 paid in full, or $149 per month. So you save a little bit if you're already a Comics Launch Pro member. Again, this includes 6 months access to Comics Launch Pro, which includes all 4 of my core training programs. And you can see what the value of those training programs are currently. And so you have access to this while you are a member of the Comics Launch Pro or Comics Launch Mastermind. So if you weren't already a member of Comics Launch Pro, this is a great opportunity to get your hands on the course material that I've been offering and building over the past 5 years. And this is really the systems and the processes that I use to run my creative business. And so you'll also get any new trainings, as well as access to the coaching that Comics Launch Pro members have. You'll get access to all of that as well while you are a member of the mastermind as well. So that's another perk there. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but another thing that I believe that now is like totally worth the price of admission alone is access to our 20+ master classes. And so one of the things that we do is we try to maximize the value and the expertise of the creators that are inside each group through our hot seats and things. But sometimes there will be topics where, hey, it just so happens there's nobody that's a master of a certain topics that a lot of people are interested in the group. And that's where I get to be able to go out to my extensive network or the network within the group and bring in outside experts to come and do sort of a guest presentation and then Q&A to follow on topics that are of high interest to the members of the group. And so you'll actually have access to our entire library of these classes that have already taken place. And there's now over 20 of these classes. And these are on things like business budgeting and money management for creatives, perfecting your pitch with Ryan K. Lindsay. We had a presentation on the rise of Scout Comics and how they've sort of grown as fast as they've grown. Russell Nolte did a great one on anthology secrets. We have access to YouTube secrets, webtoon class from Walter Osley, PR class from David Pepos, and the most recent one was an awesome presentation by Andrew Pauly on turning your characters into 3D models and miniatures, and the process and opportunities that space provides as well. So highly valuable there. And then you will also get access to 3 additional live classes if you are a member going forward. So you'll be able to attend the 3 new live classes that we will have between July and December. And the next one is actually one that I'm in the process of setting up that I'm really excited about, but I can't speak to that yet because it's not locked in, but it's going to be good. All right. So just a quick recap: Comics Launch Mastermind. You get 6 months of monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls. You get access to the private Facebook mastermind group. Monthly themes and high performance exercises are available. You'll get accountability check-ins with us. You will have, again, full access to everything Comics Launch Pro, the full library for 6 months. You'll get instant access to that masterclass library of over 21 classes, and you'll get invitation to attend new masterclasses with guest experts throughout the next 6 months. And I know inflation is a thing right now, but you will lock in your enrollment price. So even as the price for the mastermind has gone up over time, you will lock in your current price. So that will never go up for you. Total value easily over $5,000. You can jump in and with a $197 per month payment plan option, which is a 6-month commitment. Or $197, or you can save $197 by paying in full with a $997 single payment. And again, if you are an existing Comics Launch Pro member, you can save on that as well. $149 per month for Comics Launch Pro members who are active, or $797 for active Comics Launch Pro members paid in full. All right. Just one more testimonial, and then I'll get into some questions if there are them. This one was from Kevin Joseph. He said, I've been working with Tyler over the last year or so in the ComixLaunch MasterMind group. The skills and practices I've been exposed to or taught during that year have already paid for themselves, and I believe they will be the cornerstone of my career moving forward. I recommend the ComixLaunch community unreservedly as an exceptional investment in your business. This testimonial was from a little while ago, and it's been awesome to see Kevin continue to develop and grow, and the Tart series to continue to blow up on Kickstarter. All right, so if you are interested in the ComixLaunch Mastermind or the Mastermind concept, here's your next steps. First, make sure you meet the requirements. Make sure you're already on your creative journey here. You're able to make this group a priority for the next 6 months. You're excited about adding value to others as much as receiving it. And the joining this would be an investment for you, but not something that would burden you financially. If that's the case, then I encourage you to fill out the ComixLaunch Mastermind application. Acceptance is by application only, and I'm going to make those applications available now. You can go to comixlaunch.com/mm-apply to apply for those. I review each application personally and carefully to make sure, again, that we get the right people in the groups. And then after you've completed the application, we do ask that you put in a $50 yes, I'm serious deposit, which is 100% refundable. The deposit does need to be in before the application will be reviewed. So we do ask that you put that in. But again, you'll have access to or you'll be able to still make a final decision if we're able to put you in a group. All right. And so if you're on the fence, I encourage you, just fill out the application. It'll help you get some clarity on where you've been, where you're going, and what you need to get there. Whether or not you join the mastermind or not, I think I'm a pretty good question asker. And now is a great time to start asking yourself some serious questions about what your goals are for the rest of the year. And so if you just by filling out the application, you'll get access to some pretty good questions to get you thinking about the right things. All right. So again, you'll just go to comixlaunch.com/mm-apply, and that will get you to the ComixLaunch Mastermind. And you'll see an application like this. It's just a simple Google form. You'll fill that out. Just so you are aware, based on past re-enrollment rates and things like that, we really do only have a limited number of spots available. And the earliest we open up for enrollment again isn't until January 2020, until January 2023. So there's really a limited number of spots available for new members. And so it's not first come, first serve. It is most of the applications we receive. We review those carefully, and the creators that are a good fit, we extend invites to. And so I do encourage you to get your application in as soon as you can if you are serious and interested, because these will fill up. And just some key dates as we are in the enrollment period. First, if you want more exposure to the mastermind concept, I encourage you to listen to the last episode of the ComixLaunch podcast, and then listen to every episode wherever you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, etc. Because each episode this month is going to be a mastermind style episode where you're going to hear a hot seat and how I run and facilitate creator hot seats with a pop-up group. So you'll get a little taste of what the mastermind experience is like on the podcast this month. So for our key dates today, right now, this is our live info session, and then applications are open, starting like right now, this second. Our deadline to get your applications in for the ComixLaunch Mastermind is going to be June 21st, which is a Tuesday. So get them in by then. I will be starting my application review process around the 14th, and we'll be following up. If I need to get additional information from creators, I'll be following up then if necessary. And I will be accepting all and notifying all applicants of their acceptance status by no later than Thursday, June 23rd. Okay. And so what will happen is if you're accepted, I'll let you know, welcome you, and be excited to welcome you. And then you'll have until June 30th to complete the enrollment and to complete the payment enrollment, or to decide if the mastermind is something that you're gonna do for this year. And then we will actually be the second week in July, shortly after the 4th of July holiday. We will kick off the new mastermind sessions second week in July. So that's the schedule. That's what's coming up. Also do want to just point it out, because sometimes it's easy to miss. There is a submit button at the end of that application. So make sure that you don't get all the way through the application and then forget to hit the submit button. Don't forget to hit that. After you hit that submit button, you will be directed to this little notification that says that your application was submitted properly. And then there's also the link to the deposit to make that $50 refundable deposit is right there. So you'll click that, and it'll take you over to just a very simple checkout page. Again, I won't be able to review any applications that don't have a deposit. So get those in as soon as you can after filling out the application, if you're serious. And you'll still have the opportunity to decide whether or not to join the group. And you'll have until the end of the month to make that decision. So if you're on the fence, you might as well just fill out the application to see those questions so that you have the option one way or another. And again, applications will close on June 21st, and the soonest we'll open again will be not until January 2023. So if you're interested, don't wait, don't miss out. So I'm going to see if there's any questions here. You can put questions in the chat if you can see a chat room. Otherwise, you can always reach out to me directly, or if you're checking this out on a replay and you have a question, go ahead and leave those, and I will try and follow up with you as well. Let's see. This one is, what time will the groups meet? This is sort of our FAQs. So this is, it's always TBD, because I need to see how big the groups are, how many creators are going to be in them as well, and the best times that work for creators. But what's worked over the past several years is that we have a group that meets on Wednesdays. We have one which is a 6 p.m. group, and one that's a 9:30 p.m. group. A lot of times, some of our overseas creators the 6 p.m. time works a little bit better for them than 9:30, which isn't as friendly for creators, say, in the UK or the EU. So we try to have a couple different we have a couple different options there. In terms of where does the group meet? So this is not. We were actually doing Zoom pre-pandemic. We were doing Zoom before it was cool, before the rest of the world knew it was the thing. And so the ComixLaunch Zoom room is where we do the bulk of our live session meetings once a month. Another question is, where are members located geographically? And the answer to that is all over the world. In the past, our members have come primarily from the US, the UK, EU, Australia, and Canada. But, we encourage creators from all over to apply. If you're making comics, if you're launching comics, if you're trying to build a career, a creative career, then doesn't really matter to us where you're located geographically. We know you're going to have value to add. Case in point, Mark Abnett over here. I just saw him leave a nice comment here. If it wasn't for ComixLaunch and Tyler, I wouldn't have my book picked up by Scholastic New Zealand and Australia. Highly recommended. Yeah, thank you, Mark. And I was so thrilled to see that announcement that you made. The new trade collections for the mass market there look really good. So I'm excited for you. How big is the mastermind? So the mastermind, we will likely have at least 2 sessions this time. And it will split up into roughly even-sized groups. Occasionally, we've had third groups or third sessions if the applications numbers are high and there's the right amount of creators. We always will open up a third group, but usually there'll be anywhere between 8 and 12 members per group, and usually there's around 20 to 25 members overall inside the ComixLaunch Mastermind, split across at least 2 groups. So yeah, if there are any more questions, I would love to hear them, or you can also ask me or follow up anywhere else. Smiling Bandito says, I've been watching your content for years. It's always been super helpful. Really appreciate everything you've done and built for the indie community. Yeah, thank you so much, and appreciate you watching. And checking it out. And as I said, earlier on in this presentation, I learned early on that by helping other creators, I was really helping myself and vice versa. And I've really been blessed to spend most of my time on the corner of the internet that has been 99% positive, 99% supportive, 99% really good people. And so while there are plenty of places that you can go to get hate and ire and negativity and everything like that, by and large, that has not been the communities that I've been able to be a part of, and that I've built, and that I've tried to surround myself with. And so, they say like attracts like a little bit, and so I've tried to, continue to put out the right kind of vibe that's bringing the kind of creators to me that that I want in my world. And so that's hopefully been helpful to the other creators that have been circling my orbit for a while. But I appreciate you. All right, cool. So I'm not going to take much longer for this. Again, this is an opportunity where we're looking for creators who like hear the concept, hear the idea, and just say to themselves, "Hell yes, I'm in. Like this would be great." If you're a hell yes, we encourage you to fill out that application, comixlaunch.com/mm-apply, and I'll be looking forward to reviewing it. Again, that deadline is June 21st, so please get it in before then. And if you have any more questions, you can always follow up on this video or elsewhere. I encourage you to get those applications in as soon as you can. So I'll have plenty of time to review them, follow up if I need to with you, or get any questions that you might have asked before you jump in and join this fabulous group. And then I'll be looking forward to getting started in July. So finally, thank you. Whether or not this is the year for you to join the ComixLaunch Mastermind or any mastermind, I do appreciate you taking a little bit of time learning about the concept and considering the concept and thinking about how you might invest in your skills and your network this next year. Because again, like that is something that I have never seen that not result in growth for creators. And I want all of you to be out there achieving the best of what you have to offer into the world and beyond. And so I can't thank you enough for tuning in and thinking about that and learning the concept. And as always, I can't wait to see what you launch next. Take care, everybody.